Hello friends, I am Dr Vijaykumar Gawali from Bhaktivedanta Hospital and Research Institute, Mira Road, Thane, Maharashtra, India. Today we are going to discuss about various career opportunities for students who have completed their graduation or post-graduation in life science, B.Pharm, M.Pharm, medical, nursing and paramedical. So what I am going to speak to all of you today in this video is very innovative, very nice career option for these students who have completed these courses, career in clinical research. Now, let's take a moment and analyze what exactly the clinical research and will this contribute in your life. So now, I do recollect when I completed my 12th standard, at that time the option, even today probably the option parents who generally give it, go to the medical or go to the engineering or teacher bun ke raho. That's what the mindset we had before. But now we know that a lot of career opportunities are available as the time grows and the changes we see around. So if we see the regular pattern, now we are taking for BSc MSc candidate and we are trying to analyze where we will be placed after 25 years of spending in whatever career we are going to choose. So the regular career patterns are these. Those who are completing BSc MSc will be initially maybe in the laboratory technician, and then you become a senior lab technician, officer, associate. So when you spend 25 years in this regular pattern, that's where you would be. And these are all facts we are presenting here. And if you choose to be a clinical research professional, then you can see that these are the various designations. At the moment, you may not be able to understand these designations. Just hold on. In next 1 hour, you will understand and you yourself will be able to take a conscious decisions to develop your career. So in 25 years, you could be directing one of the research organizations. And here, this is a scenario in terms of your designation and also in terms of the salaries. So this is around 5 to 10 lakh rupees per month. For B.Pharm, M.Pharm students also, if you see, this is a regular phenomena. When you choose a regular path, which probably you know of now, this is where you will end up in 25 years. And clinical research can still take you to the highest designation which you can achieve. You will have a very fulfilling career. So at the moment, we will not go into the nitty-gritties, we will not go too much detail. Allow me to explain you what exactly I mean by the clinical research, what exactly the whole program is all about. And once that is done, then probably you yourself will be able to understand what are these designations mean and how this salary differs. Even for nursing and paramedical students, this is the hierarchy, and for the research professional, this is how the hierarchy would be. For doctors also, there is a lot of opportunity in this field. We will understand it shortly. Now you may ask me a question. Oh, is this a real life, or I'm just selling the dreams? Is this happening in the real life? Yes, this is happening in the real life. Just first case study, if you see. Now one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies. These are the names I'm displaying, and I'm sure you would be probably aware of those names. You see the designations of these people. The designations you can just focus on, and various organizations. Now they are leading these organizations. See the educations, what education they have done, what designation they are working on. So I really don't want to comment. You yourself see the designations, the qualification these people had and where they have reached. So I'm sure it's definitely not difficult. It's very easy path. It's just that probably you are not aware that such a field is also there for you. And it is just for you only because you are coming from the science background, the medical, paramedical, nursing background. So this is meant for people like you who are from science and pharmaceutical industry. It's the only thing that since people are not aware, the industry really doesn't get the people and the talent which the industry needs. So let's give a thought to this entire process and understand. So I am sure you may be having a lot of questions. In next 1 hour we are going to address various kind of questions. The program I am going to speak about what is the authenticity of that program, or can I go abroad? If I do a program, I want to go abroad, settle abroad, or develop career abroad. So there will be a lot of questions you may be having. Which are the places I will get job? Who will prepare me for these interviews? How interviews are difficult? What would be my salary structure? Growth in this country? What is the security? Being in this period, seeing in the COVID-19. So there's a big question mark on the security of the jobs. A lot of people committed suicide because of that. So we'll also see that scenario. What is the scenario of COVID-19? These repercussions of COVID-19 on this field also. A few more questions about post-graduation clinical research program. You may want to know fee structure. What is the joining process? Is the admission still open? When is the course starting? Exam pattern? Can I speak to students who are currently doing this course at our institute? So all these questions we are going to address shortly. Now let's understand what is exactly clinical research, and before I do that, let me brief all of you, my friends, about myself. I have spent, after my completion of MBBS and post-graduation in clinical research, post-graduation in pharmacovigilance, and the for post-graduation in medical write-up and the biostatistics. After completing all that, I have spent 4 years with the Slough Hospital and Research Center as a research fellow. I moved on to Occupational Dhirubhai Ambani Hospital for 10 years. I headed their research unit. Occupational Dhirubhai Ambani Hospital is a tertiary care center at Andheri, Mumbai. And currently I am heading the clinical research at Bhaktivedanta Hospital and Research Institute. These are the various countries I have traveled. So clinical research, when we conduct in India and when we conduct internationally, there may be minor differences. So I have gone to various countries and I have conducted various, I have been part of various workshops for various clinical research programs, various clinical research trials. So I have been to Switzerland for these trials which I have mentioned here, Singapore. So you probably at the moment you may not be able to understand what exactly this whole title is all about. This may seem to be very complex at the moment, but you don't worry about that. Do not focus there. What the point I am trying to make is that these are the countries where I have received my training. So whatever I have learned in all those countries, traveling across the globe, so I am here to share with all of you. These are few more countries I have traveled and understood what are the various clinical research rules, regulations across the globe and how they differ, and how we can also be part of the successful journey of pharmaceutical industry. That's where I am here to help all of you. I was also featured as one of the leaders in patient safety in India through clinical research, through creating the evidences. And I was also featured in Times of India for my work in this particular domain. So that's how I thought let me share with all of you. Now let's go little. You also need to understand little technical aspects of clinical research. So now you are going to make a very important choice of your career. So with this choice, you would be leading somewhere. So you need to understand the subject matter thoroughly. In very short span, I will explain you in detail. So we are speaking about a branch which is a part of healthcare science, and since you are also coming from the science background, it's your area. We do here, we determine safety and efficacy. How safe and how effective the medication, device, or diagnostic products, treatment regimens which are intended for treating the human beings. So this is what is the whole clinical research all about. Let's understand a little bit in more simple way. So here is just to tell you the Gazette of India notification. So all of you may be aware what exactly the Gazette means. In the previous era, the kings used to write the letters, but here the government writes in the form of a gazette. So it comes a gazette like a letter from the king. So the government says that apart from medicines, the clinical research is also required in other areas. So if you read all these areas, so in short, what they are expressing here is that whatever is required for a human body need to be tested first and then to be utilized and implemented. So you can see the scope of this industry. There is a huge scope of learning and contributing to the society. Now, to make it a little more simpler, how do we understand in a simple language what is clinical research? And I think the COVID-19 has taught a lot to all of us. Probably COVID-19 will also teach a little bit about clinical research to all of us. So if you see, I'm sure all of you must be vaccinated by now. You must have taken some vaccine. Now, all of you, I also want all of you also think about it. So these are the vaccines which were introduced, famous, and I think you must have already read in the newspaper that there were more than 200 companies lobbying, trying, experimenting their own products, but finally only few products came to the market. So kindly ask yourself a question: how it has happened? How these particular molecules were permitted? Who permits? What is the procedure? So logical है, आप भी सोच सकते हैं. So I'm sure. So government must have requested those pharma companies to do certain process to evaluate, see whether these vaccines work on human beings or not, and how they must have done it. They must have done in a very systemic way. So this is how even the vaccines have gone through. But since COVID-19 was an emergency situation, we know that in a year the vaccines were out for the public, but people were dying. But the routine pathway, it takes around 10 years for any medication to get into the market. So in the clinical research, there are two broad aspects you can understand. One is the discovery stage and another is the development stage. So in the discovery stage, since most of you are from the science background, you do know that we try to identify a molecule, a compound, a medication, drug, which can probably act on human beings. This is the discovery stage. This course is more going to focus on the development stage. Now, once we have discovered that a particular medicine can potentially work on a particular disease. Let's take an example. Let's say that a particular company, AstraZeneca, has developed a molecule or a medication to treat a lung cancer disease, the cancer of lungs, फेफड़ों का कैंसर का बीमारी. So the first stage would be that their people, the AstraZeneca people, the pharmaceutical company people, they need to identify through various methods which medication probably would help in treating the lung cancer patients. Once they have done that and they have done the animal testing, then that particular medication, all the data goes to the government. They would tell the government, okay, we have found out a molecule which can potentially probably treat the lung cancer disease. And how they define? There is again a process. Receptor level process, micro level process. So all those, too much details will not be able to go today. So once the drug is developed and seems potentially which can help human being, then it will come to the development stage now. In the development stage, the discovery stage is preclinical part. You can see here is our preclinical part. And now the development stage is, if you see here, is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 is divided. So in the phase 1 you see, just to understand in a very simple language, now I am going to tell in a very superficial way. This may not be the right way of explanation, but the technical explanation, if I start doing it now, we may need maybe around 24 hours only to understand this particular one slide. So just to understand in a very broad way, in a broad concept, all this is part of preclinical. As the word says, preclinical, before clinical, before patient, before human being. And now in the development stage, this is where we will be focusing our whole program, is to understand how whether these medications we utilize towards safe, effective. Are they safe? Are they effective? And then in a slowly, steadily, we will not expose, if you see here, hundreds and thousands of patients. So we will not expose too many people at the beginning. At the beginning, we will expose very few patients, and slowly, steadily, we will go ahead in a very phase-wise manner. So this vaccine also must have gone through this phase-wise manner. Experiments on human beings directly. It's a very interesting concept. It's a very fulfilling career, contributing to society back, whatever science we have done till now. Now, to tell you, let's take an example also to understand how exactly clinical research. I told you the example of vaccine in the COVID-19. By now you have broadly understood, okay, there is something called as a non-clinical approach where initially the product will get developed by the pharmaceutical company, and then once the product is developed, animal testing is done, and then the product has to be now experimented, now tested on human beings, and where you would be playing a role. One of the company, I have mentioned the name, is claiming that a particular medication can work on chronic constipation. So in the clinical research, how do we prove that the drug is effective now? What is the method? It's very logical, it's very simple. You have two groups. In one group you give their medication, in another group there's no medication. It just looks like a medication. And why we have done that? Something called as technically placebo. Because we need to know both the group, let's say here 100 patient, here 100 patient. So this patient are getting a medication and these patients are getting a look like a small, probably the similar color capsules, but there is no active ingredient, maybe sugar or some ingredient which is not medicinal product, which doesn't have the medicinal properties and will not have that kind of effect. So this is done so that even doctor is not aware, even the patient is not aware that who is in what group, and so that it is unbiased examination. It is unbiased evaluation by the doctor of both the groups. And here doctor has to genuinely see which patients have got improved. Even the patient also can tell us. In a few drug trials, you may need certain investigations to understand whether which group is benefiting more. But since this is the simple example which I have taken, even the patient can tell us how they are getting benefited, whether their disease is getting treated or not, how are they feeling, are they better with this particular additional drug. So simple, two groups, see whether one of the group is getting benefited or not, and if getting benefited, then we know that okay, this medication is working. And then the data gets collected, we submit to the government, and then we go to the next phase. Maybe we have tried by now on a smaller group of patients. Now is the time to move on to a large group of participants to be selected, and then that's how we move on slowly, steadily. It is so simple, clinical research. So this particular program which I am now trying to brief you would connect you to broadly these four aspects. So by now you understood, okay, clinical research is not that difficult. We are here to understand and evaluate whether the new drugs, are they safe and also are they effective for particular disorders for which they are being manufactured by various pharmaceutical companies. That's what is the clinical research all about. So this program is going to walk you through various vendors which are involved. One is the pharma company. Now they are the ones who are going to manufacture the drug. The drug is manufactured by them. We saw the discovery stage. We saw that they discover the drug, they discover the medication, or the equipment, or the vaccine, whatever it may be. Now they themselves may not have that kind of talent, that kind of manpower, who would be doing coordinating with the hospital to do the drug trial. So the drug is manufactured. The next course is now they have to analyze whether this drug is effective or not, and for that they need a patient, and for that they need to go to the hospitals. So which hospitals to go, which countries to go? So for that they need support of another organization, technically called contract research organization. So they are like a link between the pharma company and the hospital. So their job is they manufacture the medication, and hospital job is to experiment those medicines on patients. Now there are a lot of documentation has to be done. Since we are dealing with the human body, we do not have a scope of doing any mistake. So it has to be with absolutely zero mistake. And so they generally hire a contract research organization. They are equipped and they are equipped with people like whom, people like you, who probably would get trained, who probably will be clinical research professionals. So these are the people required here. So this contract research organization then would explore. The pharma company will decide, okay, we have prepared this medicine for constipation and we want to try this in 20 countries. Because generally when a pharmaceutical company prepares a medication, manufactures a medication, and they want to, let's say, in a phase-wise manner, they want to sell in few countries. So if they have done a research in one particular country, if they have, let's say, the molecule from a United States company and they have done research in United States, so they may be able to sell in United States. But the same company, if they want to sell in India, then the Indian government will request them, okay, can you also do some research in Indian population? Because our genetics are different between the countries, how we will react to the drug is going to be a little different. Just to be very sure whether our population can also get benefited, will also get treated by this medication, we have to be sure. That's the reason. Then they will be asked, okay, you have done in, let's say, in America, so can you also do in India? So if, in other words, wherever we intend or wherever the pharma company would like to sell that molecule in various countries, so all those countries probably they would be requested to select to do the drug trial. So here you can understand the scope of this particular organization. So now they need to identify, let's say, 10 countries and now which hospitals to select. So we are going to shortly see what are the regulations in India, how a company would know which hospitals to select, and how probably you know which hospitals are accredited by various government organizations which are authorized to accredit and allow hospitals or the health institutes to get into the clinical research. All that understanding you need to have, which shortly we will understand. So what is happening here? We understood that the pharma company is manufacturing, hospital is supposed to do the drug trials, and these are the people who is a connecting link between the pharma company and the hospital. They are supposed to get that information and then pass it on to the hospital. So now the situation is, they have selected various countries on various mechanisms, which will shortly discuss that. And now the hospitals are selected. Let's say Bhaktivinoda Hospital is also selected. So now they will then propose Bhaktivinoda Hospital, okay sir, this is the medication which is manufactured by company X in United States. They would also like to sell this product because helping their patient there might as well will help in Indian population. They want to sell in India also. And for the Indian authorities are requesting a clinical research on this drug. So the hospital, Bhaktivinoda Hospital, will then decide whether to undertake that project. And once we undertake the project, then there are various activities which we do, which we shortly discuss that. And obviously the entire control is going to be the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So they are the ones who would supervise the entire show. They will be the ones who would provide the guidance which you need to know, which will govern the activities of all three. So what exactly is the clinical research? Till now what we understood? We understood that the pharma company is manufacturing the medications, hospital is doing experiment on those medications. This is the body who is supervising the entire show, and the final supervision is by the Government of India, and it is done in a very systematic way, in a very phase-wise manner. First on animal testing, then it would be brought to the human beings. In the human beings, it is also in a very phase-wise, slowly, steadily we go ahead. So briefly now we understand how exactly the clinical research, I think it's going to be, by now you must understand how exciting the whole thing is all about. Now, the post-graduation in clinical research, the concept which we little bit understood now, how the program is developed at our institute at Bhaktivinoda Hospital and Research Institute, Thane, Maharashtra, India. So this is divided in two parts, 3 months and 12 months program. So total 15 months program. So first 3 months is going to be about the 10 modules which we need to understand, and the 12 months would be the hands-on experience which will be imparted to you. So with this combination of understanding all the modules, and also you yourself doing the clinical research. Once you do these two things, then you are a research professional. Now, in this particular, you may be having a lot of questions which I already listed at the beginning of the video only. Shortly, we are going to take all the questions. Just be here, this will be more patient. Now, let's understand which are the faculties for the course. So, we have the most of the people you will see are the doctors. So, this is like a unique offering of Bhaktivedanta Hospital. To all of you, my friends, the doctors who are experienced, we have spent decades and decades in certainly treating the patient at the same time, exploring new medications for welfare of the patient. They are the ones who are going to teach you. And apart from the doctors from the hospital, you have the doctors from, for example, Paraxel. Paraxel is one of the pharmaceutical company. So we wanted you to have the exposure of learning from even the industry experts like Dr. Medhini Kulkarni, who is from Paraxel. We have a few more doctors here listed. I am not going to the details. So these are our faculties. Few more doctors or people like who are coming from the industry. They are not from the hospital, but they are into the industry. So they will also be regularly having discourses with all of you. Okay. Now let's understand how exactly the whole 15 months program is all about. So first few months, 3 months, we are going to learn the 10 modules. The 8 modules will speak about various government guidelines, Indian regulations, international regulations also will teach. The 9th module is very interesting. It is Clinical Research Associate Monitors in the industry. So let me take back you to the previous slide here. I told you that this is the organization which is the link between the pharma company and the hospital. And these are the people who are going to come and audit your work when as part of the program you are going to be here in the hospital doing the various clinical research activities, and they are assigned a job of ensuring that what you do is as per the Indian government laws, international regulations, so that the data which is generated is accurate, credible, reproducible, and can be submitted to the government of India, post which the permission can be obtained to market the particular medications. So how these people they work and how they get trained. So when I traveled across the country and abroad, I have realized that sometimes unless until they are also trained, when they only don't know how they audit. The teacher has to be student first. How can he suddenly become a teacher? So with that small, very logic, what we have done is we have added one more module, which is the unique aspect of this course, which is available only in this institute, is that you will be also trained to be an auditor. Now how to do that? These people are coming auditing this work, and we are trying to understand what are the various findings, observation, feedback which they are giving. So based on which the entire module is created. It's a very case-based module is created here. And the last module, this is what I was speaking about. So you will also have a fair understanding. You will be equipped to be a clinical research associate, so that if you want to go into that stream, you are ready, equipped as soon as you complete the course. And the last is about the personality development, which you know what does it include, your communication skills, appearing for the interviews, to deal with various stakeholders involved, and we already spoke the various stakeholders which are part of the industry, the 4 stakeholders which you spoke, the CRO, the pharma company, hospital, contractors organization, the government bodies, the patient, the committees. So various stakeholders and how do we deal with them? This all will be a separate module itself. So as a once you comes out from your graduation, post-graduation, for you is going to be a new field, because it's a field with a responsibility. So that's the reason this particular module is also obtained. Now these 10 modules, out of which the 8 are very technical, we are not going to discuss everything today here. It's just that before taking a conscious decision of opting this course or not, you at least need to know the basics. So what exactly the whole program is about. That's the reason then I have included these are the various courses which we would be teaching you. So this, in short, what you need to understand is that to be a clinical research professional, whatever guidelines you need to know, small books you need to read, all those are covered here in a nutshell. These are all based on the government advisory goals, what should be the curriculum. That's how the whole program will run out. In every module, what would be there. So those details we have explained here. So don't get worried about that. You will feel like अभी BSc हो गया है, जिसका MSc हुआ, वो MBBS, whatever is been done, we read, and again you come here in this course and again read. Don't want it. ऐसा सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है. ये मॉड्यूल्स उस तरह नहीं पढ़ाएंगे जैसे आपने क्लासरूम में पढ़े हैं. There is a different way to understand these modules. It's going to be so interesting. Shortly in a minute you will understand that. Let me just run through what are the various subsections of these modules. So these are what is going to we learn. Now I told you that it's not going to be boring classrooms where you have come from and the kind of lecture series which you probably heard and now become graduates or postgraduates. It's a little different. That's the reason though I am a doctor, allopathic doctor, I am standing here and advising this course. So all lectures are going to be case based and they're going to be state of the art audio video enabled classrooms. For PGCR students, for the group discussions, we have state-of-the-art audio-video presentation facility and the digital boards to write also. So we just saw the classroom which we utilize for small lectures and for the group discussions, various facilities which we have here. Now let's see a little bit about the faculties which we are going to teach you.
The students who are doing clinical research courses here, assigned to our OPDs, they sit with us, help us identify patients, screen them, take their consent and learn everything that is needed for clinical trial conduct.
As a part of research activity from cardiologist point of view, we teach our students how to screen the patient.
So you just saw how the students were discussing some of them. So this is how is going to be a teaching pattern. Though there may be lectures which would be addressing all of you together, 10, 15 of you, but then you will also have small groups who will have group discussion. They will come back to me and the faculties and then we will again facilitate your discussion. This is going to be that intriguing, that interesting here. So let me show you one more group discussion which students are having. But don't get confused and with the terminologies which are used here. At the moment it may seems very difficult, very technical words, but don't worry. You can see that they are the discussion which these students current batch are having. For them it's very simple thing because we have trained and taught them. So you would also be a clinical research professional like them. So let's see one more group discussion, very short discussion, how the teaching is happening here. Now see here, one of the current batch student is asking a question to Dr. Vijaykumar, who is a mentor here, and what kind of discussion they are having. So maybe the whole discussions we will not see, just few seconds we will see.
This study from feasibility recently for the EC discussion. They have submitted the initial dossier of the study. These are the some documents. They have also submitted some letters given by the sponsor. These are the document. I have gone through this document, but I am little bit confused whether this study will undergo through the biomedical committee or trial committee. Can you let me know whether it will be in which committee it will go for the discussion?
Okay, so this is a letter from the sponsor.
Okay.
And it is mentioned in this letter.
So you have seen whatever is being taught in the lectures. It's just not about teaching the theory, but as soon as you learn a particular topic, parallelly you immediately also discuss the actual case study, which is a live case study happening here. So that's how the whole teaching would happen here. So we saw how 10 modules we intend to cover as part of the theory. As soon as the theory gets over, or the theory and practicals more or less would run parallelly, I will tell you how. Now let's move on to understand how is going to be, what exactly do we mean by the hands-on experience. Out of 12 months, the first 2 months we will handhold you under the direct supervision of me, my team, the faculties. You will be part of the clinical research. Since you are fully trained, we will issue a certification for you. You are technically called good clinical practice compliant people, GCP compliant people. This is a technical word which we use. When that certification is over, then you will be assigned to various research projects which are in-house running, and that's how you will learn. So first 2 months under our supervision you try to learn. The next 4 months we will have partial supervision on you. We will give you enough opportunities so that you also utilize your own intellect, your mindset, your thought process, and try to conduct that particular drug trial the way you want, and we'll try to see whether you are actually doing it or not. And last 6 months we expect you to do it absolutely independently, and you will definitely able to. This is how the whole program will do. For example, now what exactly do I mean by hands-on? What exactly you are going to do? So let's take a study only. The project, let's say the study is on chronic constipation. We already saw this example. There's a reason I am repeating the example, where we have 2 groups, arm A and arm B. And what is your role in this whole study? Don't go by the title, which seems very complex. Your role is going to interact again with all the vendors just for one simple this project which we are discussing on constipation. So first, your role is in the hospital. So what kind of activities you will be doing in the hospital, and what kind of activities then you will be doing with the CRO, the pharma company, the whole ethics committee, and fictitious government of India. So this is how the whole hands-on experience I am going to explain you briefly. Let me show you a small video, and then I will also take you through these various things. So let's see this small video, how exactly hands-on experience will be imparted to you. There will be few sessions which will be combined. There are few sessions of that kind, but more is group discussions amongst each other. So even here, the teaching is not theoretical again. So there is a project going on. On the basis of that project, the teaching is happening. Student is doing, she is approaching steel cupboard where there are a lot of medications which are secured. So this is not in the pharmacy. Generally, if you go to the hospital and the doctor has prescribed a medication for you, you will go to the pharmacy to buy the medication. But here, these medications are not the routine ones which are available in the market. We are speaking about the medications which are still under experiment with you as a clinical research professional to experiment, to conduct drug trial on these medications. So you will have an opportunity to directly handle the investigational products. Technically we call investigational products. They are the medicines in layman term. So these medicines would be with the general public maybe 10 years down the line. Once you will prove, once you will label them, yes, they are working for a particular reason. So just imagine the role which you are going to play. You are going to be participating in the whole episode, the whole entire process, which is going to decide whether the particular medicine is worthwhile, is going to work for a disease or not. So this field gives you a lot of satisfaction. So apart from the big designations which I displayed and shared with you, which is a fact, obviously, and the byproduct is anyways you earn a lot of money compared to other any career which you choose. There is no doubt about that. But apart from that, the contribution to the society from your end as part of your own profession is so huge and so fulfilling here. So here the student is now you can see here how the students themselves are doing activities. So the hands-on experience where there would be one-to-one mentor provided to you. So can you imagine the luxury which you are going to have, one-to-one mentor for all of you to understand all the various aspects of this particular industry. So just let me show you a small example how it happened.
Working in the clinical research field since last 15 years, and I must have recruited hundreds of candidates for the medical research activities. However, I have seldom found somebody who knows their job, in spite of they having a diploma or degree in their hand through various organizations. So where is the problem? Why they don't know their job? In my opinion, there needs an organization which teaches them theory classes, but more importantly, provides hands-on experience simultaneously.
So we just saw that how the theory will be taught, and we also briefly saw how the hands-on experience will be provided. I will also narrate more on how exactly hands-on experience will be provided. Here you can see these just few students who got a post-graduation from our institute and now they are working. You will also see them speaking shortly, and you can see everybody generally when you go to the colleges you come up with one certification, but here you can see you have the post-graduation clinical research with you, the internship program, the research projects. So how exactly in such a short span of 15 months people are completing their post-graduation, or if they have done already post-graduation like MSc, M.Pharm, they are getting super specialized from this course, and apart from that they are completing their internship and also required academic projects parallelly. So as part of that hands-on, we're discussing your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I have mentioned here. So in the hospital, once you are fully trained, and as the program I shortly explained you, the 2 months under direct supervision, then 4 months partial supervision, and the last 6 months completely independent. How you are going to do that is in the hospital setting you will be with your doctors, the project is assigned to you, and when the project is assigned to you, me, my team, our faculties will teach you. Apart from that, even the pharma company people will also come here. Why they are here? Because in the entire process, the development of the molecule part of this clinical research program, is only one party who is investing money, is a pharma company. So they are investing their money. So they want to ensure whatever medication they manufactured, and now through government processes it is handed over to you to experiment, to judge whether it is right or wrong for the patient and the population, society. So they have invested money, so they will also come and train you. Look sir, madam, this is our project, and for example we just displayed a project of constipation, or we took example of lung cancer. So our medication, let's say, is for lung cancer, and the patient population, this kind of patients probably would get benefited to this medicine. So you are not a doctor, so what is your role? So with the doctor will train you how to identify. There are few aspects which doctor will do, few aspects which you need to get trained on the ground. All this training is imparted to you. So those few aspects, special related activities will be taught to you under the supervision of doctor. Then you collect the data, you enter into the system, and then you speak to those people who are going to supervise the research associates, which we termed, and I also told you we have a dedicated module to also make you a research associate and auditors on behalf of various national and international organizations. So how to deal with them, how to discuss the data with them, and then how to report to the pharma companies. So whatever data which we collected, what are the activities we do, since they are the one who are sponsoring, how to interact with them, how to share, what are the various mechanisms to share the data with them. There is something called as ethics committee, which we will also shortly discuss with you. The committee, there has to be an independent body which supervises apart from the CRO, pharma company, because pharma companies, CRO, they may have their own vested interest. And here the important person is patient, on whom the research is happening. So who will protect the patient? Who will decide this is the right research? Who will decide this is research for the right cause? Who will protect the interests of the patient is an independent body called ethics committee, which is accredited by the government of India. So how do you present to them? How do you respond to their queries? And then obviously direct, if there is a death or any serious events happening, it's very interesting. That's how I just see, so interesting. Then you interact with the government also. So under one roof, try and understand in the whole span of 15 months, what are the various activities you are involved in. That's the reason. And you are required here from 9 AM to 5 PM, Monday to Saturday. the whole 15 months you are here and learning. Obviously, you will have certain leaves. Everybody needs certain leaves, sick leaves, and apart from obviously the national holidays, you will have those leaves you can utilize. Don't get scared. Oh my God, 15 months. That's not the case. So this is how the whole hands-on experience will be provided for you. Now, how many institutes are in a position to provide such a wonderful experience, providing the unique experience with all the stakeholders involved right under one roof? In the industry also needs people like you. Industry would be so happy to accept people like you, those who are already as part of the program itself, they have become a clinical research professional. But here, the program is not like a classroom, just being in the class, but it's all on the ground. You have seen some few videos also. So that's how the hands-on experience will be provided to you. So we explained how you are interacting with various stakeholders involved. Let's see the other aspects.
Biochemistry Hospital and Research Institute is an NABL accredited laboratory with 24/7 facility within the premises. We have hematology department with equipment having almost 100 blood tests per hour capacity and speed. We do have histopathology department also with highly experienced histopathologist as well as frozen section machine. The immunology and biochemistry department is well equipped with Cobas 6000 Roche make machine, which is a well-known company for its highly accurate report as well as quick turnaround time. The microbiology department is led by a microbiologist who has almost 16 years of experience from a renowned medical college of Mumbai. It also has blood culture automated system as well as Biotech to provide antibiotic susceptibility report at its highest accuracy. During the current COVID pandemic, the laboratory also established molecular biology department with a capacity of 25,000 COVID RT-PCR tests per day.
Okay, so you can see here there is outgoing also sometimes that you are not very stressed, and it may sense 100% placement assistance for clinical research. So the laboratory which you just saw some time back, so that the purpose of explaining that to you was to tell you the kind of infrastructure this institute has to provide you whatever kind of training which you may require. You don't have to go there and be a technician. That's not the purpose anyways. We may send the samples to the laboratory, we may get the results, and our job is to interpret, understand, analyze those, and then make a logical conclusion out of it. That's the interesting part we will do. Now, with whatever brief understanding till now which you got about what exactly the whole clinical research field is all about, and how Biochemistry Hospital is trying to offer genuinely, is trying to ensure that you become really a good clinical research professional ready for the industry. The attempt, the genuine attempt which we have, that which you realized. Now, I want to again come back to the slide where let's try to see if you can now fathom, can now correlate what is displayed there, and can you now judge whether what you were discussing makes sense and you can really do it. So now at least you can understand those people who are from this background. So where you want to be 25 years down the line in your life, whether you want to go the regular path, whether you want to go the clinical research path. Clinical research is a very happening field. In COVID, you must have realized that most of the people were losing their job. A lot of suicides, a lot of chaos. But the only industry which always booms, grows, is a research. So any country, for that matter, any institute will be only known by the kind of research contribution they have. That's the importance the research aspect has. And here, apart from that, you are getting very good designations and very good salary and opportunity to absolutely head the institute, which you otherwise will not get through a regular program. Even for the nursing paramedical, for the doctors, there's a wonderful opportunity. So, this slide which we saw, whether it is real, and I had shown you a few case studies, or the people who are already there on the job, just with the small hands-on experience, small kind of understanding, being a clinical research professional, which we are trying to teach you. So all this is very much possible. If you still want to understand further more what is happening in the world, probably you have to come out of your college days from BHMS, what you have done, and now it's time for action, time for really enjoying the life. And you see, so I travel through the country, I meet people. This is from Ahmedabad, from Kerala, from Udupi, Manipal. You see, these are the people, the science background, pharma background, medical background. They are doing such a wonderful activities and enjoying the life, enjoying the profession. You can see, so this is in Kerala. This is in Amrita Institute, Kochi, Kerala. It's a very huge institute, big institutes. Sometimes we get disconnected, we get caught up into the WhatsApp, Twitter, and Facebooks and all. But it's life beyond that also, which will give you more enjoyment, more intellectual satisfaction, which will be very fulfilling because you are contributing your own personal development and also for the society. So these are the reason I am showing you the picture is to tell you that the things are happening, people are participating, people are moving ahead. Are you also moving ahead is a question you please ask yourself. If not, let's be part of this whole journey, which is a very successful journey which we are having. We would like you to be part of us, with us, having this experience. I am sure you still to answer a few of the questions which we have. What is the growth in this industry and how the secure the field is, and the salary structure designation, which I already answered you. But there are still questions pending, whether this course, how authenticate the course is all about. Can I still go abroad? What kind of job I'm going to get? So all these questions you may have, and there are a few more questions about the program itself. I'm going to address shortly in just a few minutes. Now, before we do that, now, is there a career growth in India or just abroad? That's the question. And the answer is, a lot of pharma companies, they prefer India as a first choice in this industry to do the research or to market. For very simple reasons, which I don't want to explain. It's your area, you know. The population, the disease. And currently we only have this much percentage. Now it is increasing. The global clinical trials are increasing now. So you can understand the need of such professionals here. So there are a few more examples why the people are, a lot of companies are now moving to India because of we have a stable government, better policies to attract the industry here. Now your question, whether is this program authenticated? What is the genuine nature of the program? How do we trust, believe in this entire program? So the answer is here. You can go to this website called National Accreditation Board for Hospital Care Providers. I have displayed here you can just put the accredited clinical trial to the Google. You will yourself go to the government website and see our institute listed here. Only few institutes are listed which are accredited by them as one of the authenticate institutes to undertake such research activities. This is later by the Director General of Health Science attached to the hospital. So these are the, as I told you that most of the work is international clinical research, because and for that we need certain registrations which we already have. I have displayed it here just for your information. So in nutshell, the department which is providing this course is already accredited by the government, first in Maharashtra, second in India, registered with US government, US FDA, and obviously New Delhi Health Ministry Government of India is required. And since we are trying to contribute to the society, trying to create this awareness, which I am trying to create through this video also, we are also awarded as one of the best worldwide achiever award in the research area. Now you have a few more questions which I displayed. We will answer that, and let's then before that hear from the current batch students now. So we have a lot of students who are part of the course now in the current batch itself, Now let's hear what they have to say about
Internship
the
program is conducted in such a way that all the candidates get an opportunity to see the live demonstration of all the international drug trials, which makes an understandable and clear the concepts which have been taught in the class.
The unique pedagogy that involves practical knowledge, conducting 2 clinical researches, being involved in various pharma companies driven researches, and they also groom us for the challenges that we might face, whether it is related to patient clinical trial activities, documentation or regulatory correspondence.
We have a total of 8 modules which consist of GCP training, NDCT rule 2019, ICMR 2017. We have been trained with appropriate examples and hands-on training which have made our understanding more clear and strong.
As this institute has the Institutional Ethics Committee registered under the DCGI, the Drug Controller General of India, and also accredited by the NABH, the National Accreditation Board for the Hospital and Healthcare Providers. They trained me all important functioning of the Ethics Committee.
Module-based teaching teaches about the opportunities, guidelines and regulations, which makes us comprehend and easy way to understand.
The best part of this course is that we are taught the case modules and hands-on training are provided simultaneously so that the learning becomes easier for us, and also we are trained by the most prestigious doctors and pharmacists.
After going through a lot of videos on YouTube and Google, I could conclude that Bhaktivedanta Hospital and Research Institute provides best clinical research course because it not only focuses on theoretical part, but we also get the experience of being a part of clinical trial.
So you heard few of the students, which is generally a batch of 16 people, and few of you heard today. Most of them were saying that what they liked is the simultaneous theory and hands-on, which is what they felt very interesting here, because when you only learn theory, it's difficult to understand, and generally people mug up, appear for the exam, get marked. That's how the whole education system is there. You also know it is boring, you know that it is not worthwhile, but what do we do? But here we have changed this whole system. Parallel theory and hands-on is happening together, and that's the reason your understanding is far better than the contemporary students which will be learning at somewhere else. Now, where this program happens, where it is getting taught in the hospital setting, in the whole country there are only 4 or 5 hospitals where this program is taught. In Maharashtra it is taught at Bhaktivedanta Hospital where I am speaking from, and Tata Hospital at Parel. You could choose that one also. These are the organizations where this program is taught. You must have understood that when we do clinical research, not necessarily it will be always successful. The pharma company is investing so much money that not necessarily will turn out to be a positive result. There may be cases which is failed. So let's say that around 100 projects once we run where we'll get successful. So much money they are putting in. And since there are so many disorders, so many projects required to even to get one drug. So you can just imagine the kind of drug trials which are happening globally in India. So many research professionals are required, and as a reason, when the industry knows that these students are coming out of this particular program where they have already done the whole clinical research, they have done hands-on, they have done themselves conducted drug trials, they will be more interested in such people. So your question probably what kind of job opportunities which we have, and so this is a whole list of various departments I have shown. This is going to be a little difficult for you to understand. Don't worry, just understand there are enough opportunities here. Now let's hear from the students which are passed from this program, and now they are the global professionals. From the last batch itself, let's hear from them now. So now we saw the students of the current batch who spoke. Now let's see students who are now the professionals.
Hi, I am Pratiksha Pradeep Ingre, currently working in the space of pharmacovigilance as an operations specialist at IQVIA. I completed my post-graduation in clinical research from Bhaktivedanta Hospital and Research Institute. The constant support and persistent guidance of my mentor during the tenure of this course is the reason why I could be at this position today. Most importantly, we were given hands-on training wherein we were actually involved into various clinical trials. Furthermore, we also got an opportunity to handle sponsor-based clinical trials individually. This enabled me to be confident during my interview and acted as a catalyst to uplift my skills in this area. I would like to expand my gratitude towards Dr. Vijaykumar Gawali sir for showering me with this constant support throughout the journey of my clinical trial. Thank you.
Hello, I am Dr. I have completed my PGCR course from Occupational Hospital in the year 2015. Currently, I am associated with PGCR Hospital, Mumbai, CRC. I would like to thank Dr. Vijay sir for giving me this opportunity to pursue this course under his guidance. Also, to the research team at Occupational Hospital to help me learn the skills that are required in the current research industry. The learner-centric environment infrastructure, along with the support and guidance from the faculty members of Occupational Hospital, have led me to obtain excel in my career. Thank you so much.
Hello, this is Sonia Shukla and I work as a clinical trial assistant at IQVIA, and I've completed this PGCR program at Botany Hospital in August 2022. So about this course has truly been a positive learning experience, and like before this course I didn't really understand what clinical research was, but now that I've started a career in it, I can with certainty say that it is a rapidly growing industry in our nation, and this course will truly help you to pursue this field. And like during our internship phase, we participated in so many sponsored trials by well-known pharmaceutical companies, which gave us a exposure to real-world experience, and which I believe is truly important for a great career head start. And this course which Bhaktivedanta Hospital offers is truly a fantastic opportunity to learn and launch a career in this field. So like I have benefited from this course, and I also want to share this benefit with others. That's why I am sharing my experience. Thank you.
So my friends, you have heard from people who already secured their job, and I'm sure you are also ready for that. This is our slogan. We advise to follow this slogan. Dr. Abdul Kalam is one of source of inspiration for all of us who told us to take the research further. So by now you must have understood a lot of aspects, and there are a few more questions to address. What is the joining process? What is the exam course pattern? Are there any preliminary examination to enter into this particular program here? The fee structure, whether I have to pay the full fee at the first go, or will I be permitted installments? A lot of questions you may be having. We'll address that shortly. Just let's a little bit more information so that you are equipped more to take a final call. Let me tell you what are the various activities this department is doing. We'll divide that into total 5 sections, and let's start with the first sections, which is biomedical and health research. Warm welcome to medical research department. So let me brief you the various sub-departments and their respective activities. So now we are understanding the activities in 5 subheadings. Let me walk you through the activities with the departments. Biomedical and health research, the first aspect, and you saw that few of they are not employees. These are the current batch students who are working on those particular aspects. So if you see here, you are not going to sit in the classroom. You have your own desk, your own laptop, and all that provided by the institute with no additional cost. What are the things they are doing it here? Let me, instead of telling you a lot of theory, let me just give one example. So this biomedical and health unit, what we are teaching you there, let's take an example. Let's take example of moderate and severe patients. Which patient? COVID-19 patient. This is more relevant in COVID-19, so you will also relate, so I am giving this example. Now how do we decide that we at our institute, we manufactured medicine which is combined of allopathy, Ayurveda, combined. We title this as Ayurveda 3. Now, how do you do research on this? How do you prove to the world, to the government of India, that okay, this medication has a role to play in containing the COVID-19? So, simple method again. Two groups. In one group of patient, the one group 60 patient, other 60 patient. In one group, we are giving a standard of care, meaning the medications which are standardly available, proposed, indicated, approved by Government of India. And another group will also get that, but additionally they will also get our innovative product. Now let's compare these two groups and we'll see which is doing better. So simple research, right? Now, how do we now, what are the parameters on which basis we will say that the group A or group B, who is working better? Then what we did, this is our medication which was available, probably you might have also taken, if you have taken, Ayurveda is a kind of a syrup, combination of allopathy and Ayurveda. So before administration, we have taken the symptoms, cough, breathlessness, fever, tastelessness, weakness, all these symptoms. We also did a lot of laboratory investigations, and we also did these investigations after administration of our medicine also. We wanted to see whether the symptoms which are shown here, they are better or not after giving this medication. So the procedure is that we have to take government permissions. We did 3 clinical trials total with the medication which I just told you that we have labeled Ayurveda 3. So this one trial which I just explained you on 120 patient, another we did on moderate and severe patient, 174 and 120. There they were done at a government setup in the Palghar. The government wanted us, when we approached Biochemistry, they said that okay, you need to also do not just in your institute but also go and do in the government setup. So we took the permissions from respective commissioners, the health authorities. The trial was registered with Government of India, Clinical Trial Institute of India, Biochemistry, all the permissions were plus. And then we started, our team went to dedicated COVID hospitals. And then if you see here, we are explaining patient that if you allow us to administer this medication which has less side effect because coming from Ayurveda and few allopathy aspects to it, patient, that's how the procedures happen. So you take a permission of the patient before this question may be coming to your mind. These are experimental drugs, what if patient dies and why the patient will be part of it? The answer is very simple. There are a lot of patients who probably may not have choice anyways in whatever medications which we have today. They would also like to opt, but not necessarily that kind of population only. There are a lot of educated population we see they participate in drug trials nowadays because they see that okay, a lot of the data is available. We do a computerized data, then we do on animals, and then we show it's so safe. So that's how the safety is already measured, and then the patients are exposed. So our team has gone here, and now you see the result. The percentage of improvement. So this color, aqueous color, tells you the patient who improved more. This group is improving more. 84% patient improved in terms of cough, breathlessness, tastelessness, fever. So most of the time you see 94%, 75%, 88%. So this is so simple to understand. Like one group is getting more benefited because apart from the regular care, they also took additional products. So that's how we proved that this medication works. The lab investigations were so better, almost double than this group. That means that we could actually kill the COVID-19 virus, and if there is less virus, less infection, less spread, less complication, very logical sequence of events which will happen and help. And what is the next step? We have analyzed the results, but we ourselves cannot judge. We ourselves will not able to tell us that this is the medication to be approved. We have to publish it. So these are one of the best journals. All the papers got published. This is the international journal. Our last paper also got published, which is published in Texan Pack. Few of the terminology you may not know, but what you can understand it is not like a Hindustan Times, which you send a news and it goes. It is a lot of science. It goes to these journals, and a lot of doctors, the team of people, team of professionals like you sitting there. So just see the variety of activities and the scope which you have. And after all that, now we have government approvals in place. Okay, your medication then is probably working for this, and then we give one set of medication to our Ayush minister at that time, Sri Patnaikji. That's how so you saw one example. You ask yourself how interesting it is. It's not the more boring thing you passed out BS, MSc or medical field or nursing or pharmacist, the whole life pharmacist or senior pharmacist. No, you can contribute, you can do better, and the various aspects I am explaining now. So right from literature review to the publication, the entire process will be brought to you. What is the next department? Next department is collaborations. In the international nature is with Brenio Science, which is United States based company, and they are studying if we could early predict Alzheimer's disease through the equipment and utilizing the artificial intelligence. So we just saw various collaborations. Let's move ahead to another subunit. So we just saw a sub-department titled Ethics Committees. Let's see what they do. So we just saw biomedical health collaborations, so now we move ahead with the various ethics committees. One is Biomedical Research Committee, which need to be registered with Department of Health Research, which is under Indian Council of Medical Research. The another committee is registered with Central Drug Standard Control Organization under Drug Control General of India. This is the second committee. So why I am explaining all the committees? These are the committees which you need to take approval as part of this program when you are learning here. So under one roof, apart from various activities, you are also associated with these committees and you will get experience, hands-on experience how to deal with them. We just saw the sub-unit ethics committee. So understand, under one roof you are getting exposure of all kind of things. The title medical administration, where we look into it, and the another was monitoring room. So this is the place where the pharma company people will come and audit, where you will have an opportunity to be with them and learn from them as well. The next unit which we saw was the team of people who were part of a clinical trial unit. So there again they were not employees, they were just students like you. And what are the various activities they are doing? So we are having drug trials conducting currently with various pharma companies. You may be knowing also a few of the companies. So they come to us with various research proposals. Few of the clinical trials in last few years, this is just list of, this is a huge list, we will not go today through the list. You can see the department name, the doctor name, and the number of projects they are doing. So here we see the oncology means the cancer. Dr. Rao is doing around 10 various research projects, meaning he is exploring 10 various medications for various disorders. This is a huge list, we will not go into those details. You can see the list is on and on. So we will not go to the detail. Various diseases and the number of projects which we are doing currently in the hospital. This is a huge list, I am just skipping it. So the clinical trial unit which you saw in the video is again a lot of students were there who were sitting on the desk trying to analyze the data. They have already done the patient workup, all the groundwork were done. And to take one more example, what exactly the clinical trial is about. Let's say example of an inadequately controlled asthma. So you have a patient who are suffering from asthma and they are inadequately controlled. अस्थमा कंट्रोल में नहीं आ रहा है. So the pharma companies are trying to explore what better service or what better medication can be provided, and now we have two groups. We want to see which group is doing better, so accordingly we will be able to decide which medication is better for the disease. This is how the clinical drug trials are conducted. So apart from that, we could import the medication through research department. Suppose somebody is suffering from a particular disease and the medication is not available in India, and let's say there is no trial also, we can still request to the government channel, to the research department, to get those medication for our patients. So from the research, what you are doing, what kind of help you are doing, even after completion of the trial, this is one of the concern from the patient. You are providing medication to the patient. There is something called the open label program. Means if the trial is not running also, for a case-to-case basis, we could import the drug, and there is a free treatment offered to the patient through drug trials. And till now, over 100 global, I'm speaking of global clinical trials, the experience which we have conducting now, our hospital, our own projects we have completed, and we have a lot of publications on.
So here at Bhaktivedanta Hospital and Research Institute, the difference is that not only will you learn the methodology for clinical research, but you will gain an attitude of doing something which is fundamental. Here you will be encouraged to do fundamental research which can be path-breaking for the healthcare of India and the whole world. That is the main difference, I would say, in this course.
Through proper research, you will be able to generate data which is reproducible, replicable and implementable. Team of doctors here will teach you this science in great detail.
Now, before we move on to the last aspect, you are very interested to know what is the joining procedure, the fees and how you pay, exam pattern. These few last details are remaining. Before we do that, let's understand a little bit about the institute in just 1 minute. You need to know where you are going to do your course, so better to know what the whole institute is all about. So let me explain you through small video and then through PPTs.
Bhaktivedanta Hospital and Research Institute is located at Meera Road, the northern suburb of Mumbai. We began our journey way back on 11 January 1998. At present, we are a 200-bedded multi-specialty hospital. We are planning to expand by 2021 to 300 beds. Our ethics committees are registered under DCGI. In fact, we were the first NABH accredited ethics committee in Maharashtra and second in India. We are also registered under US government. Our research department is very well recognized by US FDA. Bhaktivedanta Hospital and Research Institute has received many.
Now it's time to know your own institute. Dr. Kumar Dalal, who is one of the founder doctor, also faculty to your program, explain a little bit about you. This is our mission. With love and devotion, we will offer everyone a modern, scientific and holistic healthcare service based on true awareness and understanding of the needs of body, mind and soul. Here you will see the word scientific coming in the picture. Our values, compassionate care, integrity, humility and spirituality. And these are the 24/7 service available. Why I am explaining the whole detail about the institute, these are the various areas where you will be taught various aspects of clinical research. We have Department of Spiritual Care, the Heart Center, Oncology Center, Neurology, Pediatrics, Orthopedic Center, Ophthalmology, Urology, Interventional Radiology, Endocrine, Pulmonology, Integrated Medicine. So one of the unique department where is a combination of allopathy, Ayurveda, homeopathy, acupuncture, naturopathy, yoga. So here the doctors from various pathies coming together and diagnosing one single patient, not for diagnosing a symptom or a particular disease pain point, but treating patient as a whole. So this concept is also available here. The palliative care, Ayurveda, these are the various awards which Dr. Kumudala was also briefing about the institute. We have the nursing school. Apart from that, you will be happy to know that we also have our own, the postgraduate medical science college, where after MBBS, there is a degree called MD, DM. So this is accredited by Central Government of India, and those courses are also with us, apart from the research college where we invite you to be part of it. Community services. So you can see the huge volume of activities the hospital is catering towards: the eye care, cancer, kidney, These are the numbers beyond the comprehension. Lakhs and lakhs of people are getting benefited. And why I'm sharing all this with you? If we have so much data, so much research can be done with the help of this data. And what celebrities have to say about us? Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, as I entered the hospital, I could feel the righteousness prevailing in the hearts of doctors. Dr. Sanjeev Agarwal from the Imperial College School of Medicine, what he has to say. Gaur Gopal Das, he says that he knows the hospital since last 25 years. Alfred Fordji is the director of the best car companies, Ford. He says it has been privileged for the last 14 years to have known the doctors and staff of the hospital. And Dr. Subramanian Swamiji, who is ex-member Parliament. We do have, apart from these, few more healthcare initiatives. We focus on health education, livelihood, and poverty alleviation program. We are a trust. This is the accreditation and empowerment. I would like to focus on the word trust because later on we will also see the fee structure, and that's the reason we are one of the lowest fee structure in terms of this program running, because we are a trust organization. Apart from that, these are the sustainable development goals by the UK, United Kingdom defined. All these we are following here. Our journey began in 1986 with a small center, and then slowly, steadily it has grown. You can see that many hospitals are not clean. So, within the hospital, which you see the next annexure is added now. But since last 25 years, the hospitals have grown more and more. These are few are outside the outskirts initiatives. Barsana Healthcare Center. This is the new hospital which is upcoming in UP in December 23. These are our outreach activities. No matter it is even in the Pandharpur camp, our doctors are helping. These are our healthcare initiatives, the COVID relief programs which we did to help the society, and the skill development program for the youth which we are running through various activities, the rural development programs which we are running, and even in the disaster relief, no matter it is what year, what happened, everywhere the institute has supported government. So now your important question, how do I join the course? By now you understand what it entails and what it has to offer in your life as one of the best career options you could choose for. Now how do you join and what are the steps which we have here? Step 1 is you are required to fill the applications available online. Step 2 is a selection procedure by the institute. As part of it, obviously, any institute will do a background verification, and then you are required to appear 2 more exams. One is titled as aptitude exam, where you not worry, it is not based on your syllabus which you must have learned. The science people, BSc, MSc, medical people, nursing, whoever, is going to be based on trying to understand logical reasoning power. You need to have at least that much, so that's the basic thing we will be checking. And once you clear that, then you have to appear in front of the panel of the doctors for interview exam for an hour. We would like to see what is your keen interest and why you would like to join. And once you complete this rigorous process, then you may think of joining the course. The course fee structure, we are transparent, we are showing you the fee structure here. If you see the difference between the hospital and other institute, what are the various main important differences? One is fee structure. We are charging this, I told you we are a trust organization. We are already running a nursing college, the medical college, research college. So we go to the society, giving back to the society. That's the reason, the only motto of running this course is to contribute in you. And that's the reason we have kept the fees, which is the lowest available. You have seen a few of my slides traveling across the globe, across the nation. I can very well tell you, if other institutes which are non-hospital, that means if there is non-hospital means no doctor, only theory. If they are charging 2.5 to 5 lakh rupees, which I really don't think is logical and they deserve that kind of payment, and at the end you are learning theory, and you yourself will not be confident. As a friend, I am sharing this with you, that if you need not opt to be with Bhaktivedanta all the time. You could choose other hospitals who are providing the course. Kindly choose at least the organization which can parallelly offer an internship program. Not that you complete theory somewhere a year and then you forget by the end of a year, and then you try to attempt to go to various institutes and expect that they to absorb you to train you. why that will happen. So these are the various differences you need to know. And within the hospital, the fee structure is lowest, and what you learn is apart from the theory. We already saw a few videos. I have explained in detail from the slide in itself what exactly the whole program is all about. Now it's your time to decide where you want to go and which field you would like to pursue. Now we are one of the top first choice in Maharashtra to learn such a program. So thank you friends for listening patiently, and if you have any questions, the number is displayed here. You could reach out to me at any time as per your detail. Thank you.
Quite often students ask me this question: what is the assurance of the job post this particular program? And yes, we have discussed in length, and you yourself have heard from the students who are passed out of this batch and at what designation they are working and what is their salary structure. You already heard from the students directly. Just to add more clarity to this, if you are an interviewer and you need to hire people for in your institute, to whom you will choose? Let's say one category of people are who have only learned the theory. The another group are the people who are like you or who are part of a program like this, where they have simultaneously learned the theory and hands-on experience. The another group which is very famous nowadays, online learning. So online learning is very good for sure, but here we will not recommend that. So you yourself take a call to whom as an interviewer you would recruit. Somebody who has learned theory, somebody who has learned the parallel theory plus has a hands-on experience and is ready to go for the industry, or somebody who has done something online. So answer is with you. I don't want to directly answer the question. What I would like to advise you though is that try to identify an organization where you could get the theory and the hands-on simultaneously. It will make your job very easy to understand the concepts. Here you are dealing with somebody's life. It's a human being. It's not a computer technology course dealing with computers where chalo computer tud gaya, that's okay. It is not like that. So the full knowledge and full understanding about the subject matter which will make you the expert into this field. Now if you just see a small example, now let's say that you want to understand swimming, and how do you want to learn the swimming? What is your preference? You like to sit in an AC cabin and hear the instructions on how to move the right hand, left hand, that's what you want to learn? Or you would like to go to the swimming pool with your trainer and learn there itself? Learning there itself would matter, would teach you quickly, and you will save yourself from drowning. So it's a very basic crude example I'm giving, but that's how it is, the whole thing all about, even in the clinical research. So I would advise you to be part of such organization to learn the clinical research. And there's regarding your next question, what is the scope? A lot of students have already answered you. What is the scope in the clinical research? Your question would be then, how do I apply after this program for the jobs? So the option one would be that since you are already working on various clinical drug trials in our department itself, and we discussed that the pharmaceutical representatives, the medical advisor directors, since they have invested a lot of money, they would be coming here to audit. So they themselves are seeing your work. So then most of the time they will absorb you. It's kind of campus selection. Quite often we will absorb you. We also need people like you who are trained by ourselves. So these are the various ways you could get absorbed. You get the job at the hospital setting, or at the pharmaceutical sponsor setting, or in the contract research organization, or the government organizations which are from the research side. These are the various places you could join. Regarding the fees, you already know the fee structure. If you have that thought in the mind, I am not from well-to-do family and won't be able to pay at one shot. On case-to-case basis, we may try to help you if what kind of options can be given so that you could pay the fee structure the way would be easy for you. So these are the, I think I probably have answered all your questions, including can I go to abroad, where we mentioned that yes, whatever rules regulations we done in India. It's not that the human being in India is different from America, they are also human beings. And the kind of experiment which we do on human beings, the regulation which we done here, most of them are applicable there also. You could definitely go abroad. In spite of the whole session, if you still have some questions, so kindly do not hesitate to reach out to me in person, or you could meet me here physically or through telephone. The details are provided on the screen. Thank you very much and best of the lucks. I hope that I have contributed to some extent in taking conscious decisions, which is very paramount importance to you, because it's going to be a turning point in your life. Thank you and best of luck.